We live in the most connected era in human history, yet millions of people have never felt more alone. This generation has everything people once dreamed of: unlimited entertainment, instant communication, social media fame, AI money-making opportunities, and constant distraction. But behind the screens, behind the smiles, behind the "I'm fine" posts, there's a silent epidemic no one wants to talk about. People are waking up tired. They're losing motivation. They're surrounded by people but feel emotionally empty inside. Why? Because this generation was taught how to chase attention, but never how to build purpose. We were trained to scroll, not to think. To compare, not to grow. To look successful, not to feel fulfilled. And the most dangerous part, many people don't even realize they're slowly losing themselves. This isn't just about mental health. This is about a generation starving for meaning in a world overflowing with distraction. If we don't wake up now, we may become the most entertained but emptiest generation in history. The most dangerous thing about distraction is that it doesn't look dangerous at all. It looks like entertainment. It feels like comfort. And slowly, without realizing it, an entire generation of men has traded purpose for temporary escape. Young men today are constantly stimulated but rarely fulfilled. They scroll for hours, consume endless content, chase validation online, and mistake attention for meaning. From a man's perspective, this creates silent frustration, because deep down, every man wants to feel needed, respected, and significant. But when his energy is spent feeding distractions instead of building discipline, he begins to feel empty inside without understanding why. The hardest part is that women are witnessing this shift too. Many women are not just looking for attraction anymore. They are searching for emotional presence, direction, and stability in men who seem mentally absent even when physically there. A distracted man struggles to lead himself, which makes relationships feel emotionally disconnected. And while men often hide their pain behind humor, silence, or ambition, women can sense when a man lacks purpose, because purpose changes the way a man speaks, acts, and carries himself. The modern world profits from keeping people distracted because distracted people stop asking meaningful questions. Men stop asking who they want to become, and women stop believing they will find someone emotionally grounded enough to build a future with. The moment comparison becomes a daily habit, peace quietly disappears from a person's mind. Social media has turned comparison into an addiction so normal that people don't even realize it's controlling them anymore. Every swipe exposes men to someone richer, stronger, more successful, more confident, or more attractive. And instead of feeling inspired, many men feel inadequate in silence. A man's psychology is deeply connected to progress and self-worth, but when he constantly measures his life against curated highlights online, he starts feeling like he's falling behind even when he's doing his best. That pressure slowly turns into insecurity, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. The painful reality is that women are also trapped inside the same cycle. Many women are constantly shown unrealistic standards of beauty, luxury, and relationships, which changes expectations and creates emotional dissatisfaction in real life. Men begin to feel they are never enough, while women begin to feel real connection is harder to find. Social media creates the illusion that everyone else is happier, more loved, and more fulfilled, causing both men and women to question their own value. The human mind was never designed to compare itself to millions of people every single day. Men who once built confidence through real-world struggle now seek validation through likes and attention. while women are left trying to connect emotionally with people who are mentally consumed by proving themselves online. The strangest part of modern life is that people have never been busier, yet they have never felt more emotionally empty. This generation wakes up exhausted, rushes through endless tasks, answers notifications all day, and stays mentally occupied every hour. But at the end of the night, many people still feel like nothing meaningful was accomplished. Men especially are trapped inside a cycle where productivity is mistaken for purpose. A man's psychology is naturally driven by achievement, growth, and contribution, but modern culture keeps him constantly busy without helping him feel fulfilled. He works harder, scrolls longer, consumes more, and still feels disconnected from himself because movement without meaning creates emotional burnout. The painful effect of this is visible in relationships too. Women are increasingly encountering men who are physically present but emotionally unavailable because their minds are overloaded with stress, pressure, and distraction. At the same time, women themselves are carrying emotional exhaustion from trying to keep up with unrealistic expectations of success, beauty, and perfection. Both men and women are surviving every day instead of truly experiencing life together. The modern world rewards activity more than clarity. People celebrate being busy because slowing down forces them to confront uncomfortable questions about purpose, identity, and happiness. Men keep chasing goals they were told should matter, while women keep searching for emotional depth in a society addicted to constant stimulation and endless noise. The deepest crisis in this generation is not financial, technological, or even political. It is emotional disconnection. People are surrounded by constant communication, yet real human connection is quietly disappearing. Men today can spend hours talking online, scrolling through feeds, or sitting in crowded rooms while still feeling completely alone inside. A man's psychology is built around trust, brotherhood, respect, and emotional safety. But modern culture has taught many men to suppress vulnerability and replace real conversations with distraction. As a result, many men carry silent pressure they never express, creating loneliness that no amount of entertainment can fix. The emotional impact of this is being felt by women as well. Many women are searching for deeper emotional presence, but they often encounter men who have become emotionally guarded, detached, or mentally exhausted. At the same time, women themselves feel unseen because digital communication has replaced genuine listening and empathy. Relationships begin to feel transactional instead of meaningful because people are connected to devices more than to each other. The dangerous part is that this disconnection has become normal. Friends sit together while staring at phones. Couples share homes, but not conversations. Men stop opening up because they feared judgment, while women grow frustrated trying to connect emotionally with people who no longer know how to communicate beyond surface-level interaction. The greatest threat to this generation is not failure, it is comfort. For the first time in history, people can avoid discomfort almost instantly. The moment boredom appears, there is entertainment. The moment stress appears, there is distraction. The moment loneliness appears, there is endless scrolling. And while comfort feels harmless, it slowly weakens ambition, because ambition is born from struggle, discipline, and the willingness to face discomfort. Men especially are suffering from this silently, because a man's psychology is deeply connected to challenge, purpose, and progress. When a man stops pushing himself, physically, mentally, and emotionally, he begins to lose confidence without even realizing it. Comfort makes him feel safe in the moment while quietly stealing his drive for the future. The emotional consequences of this are becoming visible in relationships between men and women. Many women are no longer just looking for financial stability. They are searching for emotional strength, leadership, and direction in men who seem increasingly unmotivated and disconnected from purpose. At the same time, many men feel overwhelmed by pressure, but underprepared for real responsibility, because modern culture has normalized convenience over resilience. Easy entertainment has replaced meaningful growth, and temporary pleasure has replaced long-term vision. The dangerous thing about comfort is that it rarely feels destructive in the beginning. A man tells himself he will start tomorrow, improve later, or take life seriously one day, while years slowly disappear inside routines that require no courage. Women also feel the emotional weight of this shift because relationships become difficult when two people are seeking comfort instead of growth, depth, and meaning. The future will not belong to the most talented people. It will belong to the people who know why they wake up every morning. In a world drowning in distraction, purpose has become a rare form of power. Most people today are emotionally lost because they are chasing things that stimulate them instead of things that fulfill them. They chase attention, comfort, status, and validation, but none of those things can replace meaning. Men, especially, are struggling with this crisis because a man's psychology is deeply connected to direction and purpose. When a man has no mission, he becomes vulnerable to confusion, addiction, insecurity, and emotional emptiness. But when a man discovers a reason bigger than himself, his energy changes, his discipline changes, and the way he carries himself changes. The reason purpose matters so much is because it gives suffering meaning. A man can handle pressure, sacrifice, and rejection when he believes his struggle is building something valuable. Without purpose, even small problems feel overwhelming. This is why so many men today look successful on the outside, but feel disconnected on the inside. They were taught how to compete, but never taught what was truly worth fighting for. The emotional impact of this confusion is also affecting women in powerful ways. Many women are searching for men who are emotionally grounded, driven, and clear about who they are. But they often encounter men who are distracted, uncertain, and mentally exhausted. At the same time, women themselves are feeling pressure to build meaningful lives in a culture that constantly tells them to seek validation instead of fulfillment. Real connection becomes difficult when both men and women are trying to discover purpose in a world designed to distract them from it. The people who find purpose early will think differently, live differently, and lead differently because purpose creates clarity in a generation consumed by noise.